So let's talk to our good friend Jackson Hinkle, political commentator. Jackson, good evening. Always lovely to have you on the programme.
No, I think you've got him mixed up with someone else.
Have I?
Yeah.
No,
but anyway,
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure I haven't. Anyway, Jackson, as I say, lovely to have you on the show. Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister currently, hopefully not for too long, backs the ICC, the International Criminal Court, over the arrest warrant for Netanyahu, and has actually said that if he came to this country, then he may well get arrested. This isn't going to help peace in the Middle East, is it?
I hope for the sake of the British people that Keir Starmer is not your leader for much longer either. I think he's a terrible, disgusting, satanic, anti-human scum. But not for the reason of...
Oh, we all agree with each other. Let's end it here.
Arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. I think as they say, a broken clock strikes correctly twice a day. And when it comes to this decision, it was very good. But personally, I think if the International Criminal Court was fair, just, and actually upheld the law in all countries, I think Keir Starmer would be arrested as well for crimes against humanity. So,
but your government disagrees with you.
Hang on.
Biden and Trump both disagree with your position.
Could you stop shouting, because he's very loud? Why do you think that? Because Keir Starmer, to us over here, is just weak and wet. And just sounds like you go along with everything. I mean, what is it that makes you think he's going to stand up to anyone?
Well, I don't think he's standing up to anyone, much in the same way that Joe Biden is not standing up to anyone and hasn't stood up to anyone for the past 4 years. But either way, both of these men are sleepwalking their way into World War III with Russia. And I think it's a horrible decision. I think they should settle for peace. And I don't think Joe Biden should have instigated this in the first place. And I think that in time they will have to answer for their crimes.
Trump will sort this out, won't he? I mean, Donald Trump is probably the best thing to happen to the world.
And Putin will be waiting for Trump.
Can you be quiet a minute? You're annoying me, and I might have to...
I was just editing your point.
Don't bother. So is it as good as far as you're concerned? I mean, everybody I've spoken to is so elated that Trump is the next president.
Well, I think everyone's happy that it wasn't Kamala Harris. The idea that she would be president is insane. But Donald Trump, obviously, is a man who has voiced a lot of support for the idea of peace, not just with Russia, but also in the Middle East. Unfortunately, in his cabinet, he selected a lot of establishment-type figures who seem hell-bent on continuing the funding of these conflicts. But when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, if she's approved for that position and she's actually given the authority to influence Trump on these matters, I think it could be very good for the whole world.
Tell me what you think could be done by the world and Israel to end the war in Gaza. What do you think should be the next step?
Well, I think Israel should do what they were presented with many months ago. They were presented with an opportunity to stop the invasion of Rafah back when planning to do that in return for the freeing of all the hostages. Now Netanyahu has been forced into a position where he's offering $5 million for every hostage that's freed. I don't understand why he didn't take the deal long ago. So I think he should just, stop the escalation with Iran, stop the invasion of Lebanon.
But there are lots of people like you in the media in America who support Hamas, a terrorist organization. And I just wonder why. I mean, why on earth do you support an organization that continually bombs another country, that is keeping hostages, that committed a genocide against a small town of people? Why are there people in America who actually support this?
Well, I didn't know I was having a conversation with someone who has the intellectual acumen of a donkey, but it's incredible. I mean, Hamas is the one.
Excuse me. I think I've got the international. What's it of a horse at least?
No, but Hamas, if your way, they'd still be strong in Rafah. Hamas are nearly finished, and actually it turns out it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
in Rafah. Hamas are almost finished.
Yeah. Hamas is nearly finished every other week, and then
no, they really are, honestly.
Territory, then there's new missiles being launched from the place they left.
But you know, there are people like you though in America. We had to suffer it here with the IRA, and you love to support terrorist organisations.
You're like Lord Haw.
You know, I don't understand what it is with Americans. Some, not all Americans.
Do you make a lot of money? Is that basically it? It's a good, you know, you get a load of clicks, don't you? Millions of clicks.
No, I think that I just am continuing the revolutionary tradition of my ancestors who fought against the terrorist entity of the British Empire. And I think the world would be a lot better. If it hadn't been for the British
Empire, you wouldn't be there, sunshine.
You already won that.
You wouldn't be there, sunshine. You would never have been in America if it hadn't been for the British.
I think
you're the reason that you've stolen that country.
Are you going to let me speak?
You've stolen that country.
Bring me on your show, but you don't let me speak.
You're speaking fine.
So it's very interesting. So I think the world would be a lot better off if Putin fired one of those Orishnik missiles right at 10 Downing Street. I think
you're an idiot. Goodbye.
Much more people.
You're an absolute idiot.
What if he fired it at the White House?
You know,
would you accept that?
Hang on.
The White House?
This guy Jason Hinkle, who is nearly Jackson, whatever his bloody stupid name is an American who, quite frankly, people say, oh, he's a bit like you. He's nothing like me at all. He's an idiot. He supports organisations that... No, I've said goodbye to him. When I say goodbye, I mean... Don't worry about what the producer tells you. And Jason Hinkle is a man who is encouraging support for a terrorist organisation that is holding civilians as shields, human shields, and fighting from schools and hospitals and causing an enormous... And I don't understand...
And he's got that little smirk they all have where they know they're wrong, really, but they know they're being a bit naughty.
Yeah.